What's up, guys? Your boy King Naz, and today we're going to talk about one of the worst shows I've ever watched in my entire life. So, HBO Max, or you can call it Max now, decided to create a new show that had an interesting concept but failed to execute correctly, which was called The Idol. Produced by The Weeknd and Sam Levinson. If you do not know who Sam is, he is the creator of Euphoria, which is one of my favorite shows. And, I loved it. So I thought this would be great. And it just isn't. You have a character, the main character, Jocelyn, who's a pop star who tries to become more edgy and meets this guy named Tedros, a club owner and a cult leader who tries to get her career, quote unquote, right on track. Now, the show's concept, like I said, is good, but it just executes terribly. Now, I heard that the original writer was fired and that The Weeknd thought that this show shouldn't be from a female's perspective, which is pretty fucking stupid. If your main character is a female, you would think that the character should be the main focus and that it should be from a female's perspective. But no, it is not. You want it to be The Weeknd's character so bad. You want him to be the more bigger character and the villain of the show, which makes sense. But The Weeknd is just not good at this role at all. You can tell it is so forced, and he has great music, but this acting thing is just not working out. Not saying that I'm a good actor, but Jesus Christ, this show is just all over the place. And the most thing that I hate about it is that it is too sexual. It focuses on that more than anything. The most redeemable quality of the show is the manager and Destiny. And like, those two characters are the most funniest people. And other than that, the rest of the show is just all over the place. And I cannot stand it at all. It just feels like it's so repetitive. It's like, ooh, Jocelyn has a problem. Ooh, let's solve it by having some sex. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. And The Weeknd's character is not even like interesting at all. Like, he gets up in people's faces and stuff, and I'm like, bro, I would have snuffed the shit out of him. Mike Dean is in the show, which is pretty dope. He's great, but it doesn't help the show at all. And it just feels like everything is just so repetitive. And it's just like, why is this even here? For instance, in the first episode, there's a picture that is leaked of Jocelyn with cream on her face. That's what I'm going to call it as, cream on her face. And it takes 30 minutes to finally get to the point where she finally sees the picture. Like, we go through all this. She gets a photo shoot done. She does some choreography for her new music video. And it just takes forever to get to the point of her finally seeing the leaked photo. It's like, bro, you're taking forever, but guarantee you every other scene that has something sexual to do, it goes real fast. Instantly, you want to get to it. Like, it tries to be Euphoria so bad. You can tell it tries to put the elements, but it just doesn't work like Euphoria works. Euphoria makes you feel. It makes you feel like you like characters, you hate the character. You have interesting storylines that go on throughout the season. You have characters that you feel for, characters you hate. It has elements that just makes the show interesting. And you can tell they try to do that, but instead they just give you characters that you absolutely hate, and not in a good way that makes the show interesting. It just makes the show super boring and super like bland in a way. It just focuses too much sexual. That's how you can tell this is The Weeknd's work. He tries to make it too sexual, and that's what it focuses on too much, as that's her motive, and that what helps her succeed in her career and succeed in what he does in his business. And it just fails time after time, and it just doesn't work. And I get it, you want to expose the dark side of Hollywood, but if you're gonna do that, make that the main focus instead of just making everything seem so bland and just, hey, we need this scene to be more edgy and sexual to make things more interesting. And it just doesn't. It just feels and lays flat, and it just fucking sucks, man. I wasted 5 hours of my life watching this, and because I like stupid, funny, ridiculously corny shows, I find it to be entertaining. However, this show is not, like the hairbrushing. So there's a part of the episode where they're all together, and then the Weeknd's character Tedros asks Jocelyn, hey, what is going on with your mother? Why do you miss her so much and stuff? And she talks about this hairbrush that her mom used to do and used to kind of hit her with to focus on her music, and it kind of motivated her. So he's like, okay, fine. You know what? Go get that hairbrush. And she goes, okay, fine. And then absolutely beats the shit out of her in front of his cult. Like, bro, it just doesn't make sense. And of course, they have to make out while it's happening. So it just feels like, okay, if you're gonna do that, you should have went all in with it and made sure people understood that what her mom was doing was just painful to her, but yet she loved it because it helped her focus on her work. Instead, they try to make it a sexual thing and make it seem like, oh my God, this is gonna motivate her so much because the Weeknd, Tedros, is doing it. You know what I mean? So it's just, it falls flat, and I hate it so much. And this show had so much potential, but you can tell it's just like, no, we want you to focus on this relationship and how good it does for her and how bad it also does. And then it's just like, bro, like, focus on one thing at a time. But the fact that they forced it into 5 episodes is like, you can tell how rushed this show was. It's just all over the place, and it just makes the show very boring. And I don't know who greenlit this show. I want to see what the other producer thought of the show. Like, what was her vision of the show? Because maybe hers would have been better, because obviously having the horn dog in The Weeknd and then Sam Levinson trying to recreate Euphoria in a way, you can tell it just sucks. Like, I don't know what to really tell you guys other than that. It's just bad. You can check it out for yourself to see if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did watch it and if you did enjoy it, and tell me why, because I don't understand why. But maybe if you explain it, then maybe I'll be like, okay, I see what your point is. But other than that, The Idol just sucks. I felt like it had potential. That's why I watched the rest of the episodes. I was like, okay, maybe something will come out of this. And instead, it goes from one thing to another. She finally gets the one up on Tedros and then goes all the way back to Tedros at the end. So it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Obviously, this was supposed to lead up to a season 2. It's definitely not. It's going to get fucking canceled because the show is bad. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about the show. And that's all I got to say for this one.